Hey everybody, this is White Flash, doing an overview of Ploiesti Outskirts. I wanted to do kind of an explanation video to elaborate on the design of this map and some of the functions that are built in from a design perspective that are supposed to be knowns. While this game loads up, I want to thank Fever Dreamed, Elpern, AE, Sturm Tiger Gaddafi, Asher Boys, um, and I know Stormless is going to be doing a cast soon. Everybody who's been supporting the development of this map, Bao Lang, I really appreciate it, and the amount of quality replays, content, and feedback that I'm getting on this is pushing this map to be very good very quickly. So thank you guys for that. Um, we're going to start this off by turning off the AI as usual and murdering their poor soldiers in cold blood. Okay. This is going to get a little bit... Whoop. You stay dead. This is going to get a little bit detailed, so I apologize, but it's worth going over this in detail the way that I'm going to do this. Generally, when a game starts, units from this base move in this direction because the VP and the fuel look like they're closer. Likewise, in the south, units from the south move from their base to the VP and the fuel in the what I'm going to call the north. North will be here, south will be here, because the perceived distances of the fuel and the VP. Now, it is true that the VP here is closer to the north base. The VP here is closer to the south base. But the fuels are equidistant to each base. The distance here are the same for either base. What that means is that when the game really starts popping off, either player can take either side in a reasonable fashion. The terrain and the center, everything makes either side attainable by both base locations. Now, what that means is that these cutoffs, all four of these cutoffs, are free game. What I mean by that is the northern player will have equal incentive, depending on which side is held, to take either cutoff. The southern player, likewise, will have equal incentive here. Now, part of this is that the idea is that this side, like for the left player, this side is easier to take, quote unquote, because the VP sort of pulls them in that direction. But for a player in the south, these strong buildings are easier. This is like a strong point area to hold in here while the blue player takes this side, which gives them a good staging area to then cut this stuff using this VP cutoff. So this player comes through here, grabs this stuff. The defending player has easy access to this cutoff. Now, likewise goes for the right side. Well, the red player will come up here and grab this stuff. The northern player has strong holding positions because of the building here to then move in and grab the cutoff. Part of this, too, that's unique to this map is that the cutoffs themselves are victory points. So there's extra incentive to come in here and grab this. Now, on the flip side, if the northern player does end up grabbing these sectors, which is common in games, it flips back and forth constantly. The southern player has sort of a secret weapon on offense, and that is this building right here. Now, this is rotationally symmetric for the northern player taking this building, but I want to explain how these buildings work because it's a very... there is no other map that uses buildings to this degree and has specialized sort of setups for buildings like this map. First of all, the buildings are huge, right? These are extremely big buildings, especially for 1v1. 1v1 typically has smaller buildings with less entrances and exits and less windows for fire options. You'll notice that there's one big door here in the center with firing positions out here, 3, and 2 firing positions here with no door on this side. So a single door. This single door brings you out basically into the center of the map where the shit show inevitably is happening. There's also another door back here. Now, none of these windows are accessible from this building as long as these hedgerows hold up. When you get into the late game, all bets are off. But for most of the game, this door is simply an access to the center of the map. Now, this is a two-way street where a player from the center, if you're the southern player and you're moving up and you take this building, you have an option to actually see line of sight back here, because it's going to give you a sliver of line of sight. Maybe you can see units moving around. Or you can actually jump through here and use this entrance, because the base MGs and emplacements are set up to basically cover an arc roughly like this. Maybe take half of this point in. And then this is roughly like this in here. So you can actually use this entrance. I think of it as like teleporting through the map. You pop through here. You can flank units in the center. And you can also kind of prevent units from coming in. This would be a great place for mines. You have access to this channel behind the enemy base. That same goes for here. When you enter this building, you've got this channel access for flanking these strong positions or mining up or whatever. Now, the other big advantage to this building is that it gives you cutoff access. Very quick cutoff access. If you come through the center of the map here and you've got units, you're sort of traveling up here, you've got a point here, you've got some green cover, you can actually jump into this building, and there is a third entrance on this side. Now, this side entrance gives you access. You're kind of protected with these two pieces here. Gives you access straight up to that cutoff. You can also use this machine gun emplacement here, if you're the southern player specifically, can give you an arc to cover a significant portion of this cutoff here. So you pop the MG in. You can cover units as they're moving through here to try to get to this cutoff. So this can turn into a very powerful building. Obviously, it's weak here because you can't turn the MG to pin. This does not work on this side. Likewise down here. Where am I? Down here. So this building gives you flexibility to hit cutoffs, to go in and use sneak attacks from behind, to enter the center of the map. So for a player in the south coming north, this building is very powerful, not just for emplacements, not just because it's very rugged, but because of the flexibility that it gives you entering different, totally distinct areas of the map. Of course, all of that is rotationally symmetrical, as I mentioned earlier, in the south. So these buildings are a defining feature of the map. Another defining feature of the map are these large tanks. They're obviously shot blockers. They're also sight blockers. And these tanks, I think as many people have heard, can explode. And the health of these tanks has been removed. Or not removed. The health of the tanks, they used to be very hard to destroy and watch the awesome explosion. The health has been reduced by about 50%. So roughly 3 Tiger shots will destroy these tankers. Likewise with these extremely large tankers on the outside of the map, though they're just for special effect here. And after these are destroyed, line of sight will still be blocked, shots will still be blocked, and the explosions don't damage any units. It's just for effect, so it's just awesome. The outside of this map, there is green cover adjacent to the high points here and here. Likewise here and here. I've seen some people not using these, so there is some green cover defensively, not offensively, to be used on both sides. Another tanker there, of course. The hedgerows on these ends are rotationally symmetric as well. I think that's a given here. And that is the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to explain on this map. The cutoff system is very unique here. It's a roundabout sort of cutoff system, as you've seen. So you can take these 2 points and essentially cut your opponent off from all their sectors. There are 2 base sectors that you can access, so everybody's got resources going in, but yeah. Also, the theme of it's pronounced Ploiesti Outskirts. The Ploiesti oil fields were an extremely important place in Romania for the Axis during the war. It was their main source of oil, and if you tilt the camera up, you can actually see the refineries of the oil field in the distance. So the theme is, there's woods here. You're approaching these oil fields. This is kind of the outskirts where there's some, buildings and oil tankers, and as you move in, the refineries are further in. So that's the theme of Ploiesti Outskirts. I think that's all I've got. Again, thank you guys for supporting the development on this map. I'm very pleased with the games that we're seeing on this and the flow, and just the map is performing better than I thought it was going to. So I'm more excited about this map than I was about Nexus. And also thanks to Truex for the loading screenshots and the tac maps. He does all that. Hopefully we'll keep getting casts, keep getting games on this, and we'll just see where the development of this map goes. Thanks again, guys. Cheers.